glad to help you with anything that you require. With your alcoholic or non-alcoholic needs. Barb, Roxy, and Liz are our crack crew. Will be around to serve you ice cream. Have a choice of toppings of chocolate caramel and strawberry, topped with a cookie and whipped cream. No smoking on board, please. Keep all trash cans on the boat. Life jackets are stored in the rear cabinets on the upper deck, and on the lower deck they are in the cabinet to the left where you entered off the gangplank. Got almost a full boat today. We appreciate you coming on board today. Please be conscious of your conversations around your neighbors. You all spent money to buy a ticket to hear the tour. Not saying I give the best tour, but it's the only tour you're going to get on this boat. So I want you to sit back, relax, enjoy the ride on this summer fall day. Unfortunately, two of the main causes a long time ago, so they were very susceptible to anything like a lightning strike or an errant campfire, or even a problem with lighting or heating their properties. The other would be the Depression. The stock market's way to recoup some of that money was to sell off their summer homes to a developer who would then subdivide them. The brick home up on the hill is decidedly first summer home built in the lake. Built in 1870 for Sheldon Sturgis, one of the three Sturgis brothers, the other being Buckingham. They were in the grain storage business and the banking business in Chicago. It was torn down about 18 years ago, and this beautiful brick home put in during the high season. It's now called Acorn Manor. We're now passing Geneva Manor. It sits on 37 acres of what was once the Levi Z. Leiter estate, known as Linden Lodge. Mr. Leiter co-founded the Field and Leiter Company. It was a dry goods company in Chicago. Later became Marshall Fields, and what we know now today as Macy's. The home was set in the park and beach area in the middle there. Had 30 rooms, 19 fireplaces, one even in the master bathroom. Mr. Leiter made his fortune in the real estate industry. Sat there till 1939 when it was torn down and the area subdivided into Geneva Manor. The Geneva Manor, in fact, was the first subdivision platted for the city of Lake Geneva. During those hot summer months, or hot summer days like today, that does hide the aerial bombardment. The Victorian boathouse coming into view along the shoreline. That's all that's left of the original Snug Harbor estate. Snug Harbor was built by the Fairbanks Company. Chicago's leading manufacturer of refined oil products or soap. His brand of soap was called Perry Soap, a very popular brand. It was purchased by Procter & Gamble to make us Ivory Snow. In 1875, a year after it was finished, it was struck by lightning. Luckily, it was a slow-burning fire. On the first group of homes that I've found out so far. The next 2 miles of shoreline are kind of interesting because some of the homes are still in existence from when they were built during the heyday time of the Newport, the West area. The first one slowly coming into view behind. A few homes were once owned or are currently owned by a member of the Wrigley family. The Wrigleys made their fortune in the chewing gum industry, along with real estate projects in downtown Phoenix, most of Catalina Island, Chicago Cubs, Wrigley Field, and the Wrigley Building. The first home was called Northwood Side, the green and white home with the brick foundation. Built in 1876 for General Henry Strong. General Strong was president of the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railroads. Later years, it was purchased by a group called Villa Hortensia when it was built for Edward Swift, son of Gustavus Swift, founder of the Swift Meat Packing Company, named after his wife Hortense. It is now the summer home of a Chicago businessman renamed the Edgewood. 1999, it was purchased by Richard Driehaus, founder of Driehaus Capital Management. He spent a lot of time and money restoring this home.
Would you like
It is
strawberry
a wonderful
chocolate or
example of
caramel?
historic preservation, and he renamed it one of his gardens.
Strawberry.
Now, Mr. Treehouse actually throws a party the last Saturday of July. It's always themed, always elaborate. For 8, Mr. Sauter was under great pressure to finish this home by the spring. So he went to Delavan, Wisconsin, borrowed a circus tent, erected it on the site so his workmen could work all winter long. Because in the spring, the Bartletts were coming up on the train, they arrived at the property, the workmen took the tent down, kind of like unwrapping a birthday present, because that's exactly what it was, a surprise present from Mrs. Bartlett.
What's that square wooden thing? Is that like a floating bed?
I got a question about that square wooden box. That is called a crib. That sits on the lake bed. It's filled with rocks for ballast, and the H portions of the pier slide down into that each corner.
Ooh.
7.5 miles long from the city of Lake Geneva all the way down to the west end and Fontana. A little under 2.5 miles in its widest point. That's from the beach in Fontana across to the south shore from the Lake Geneva Yacht Club. At almost 5,300 surface acres, one of the 5 largest lakes in the state. The deepest point is about a half mile, maybe more than that, about 1.5 miles that way, off to the right, 142 feet deep. That's enough to submerge a 14-story building. The lake averages 61 feet in depth, and 90% of the lake is 10 feet deep. It's an incredibly clean lake. That's because it does not have any inlets. By that I mean there's no rivers or major streams that are flowing into the lake that might muddy the water. It's entirely fed by runoff, but mainly by springs located down near the village of Fontana. The first recorded sighting of this lake was in 1831, which is rather late, considering Wisconsin had been explored as early as 1634 by the French explorer Jean Nicolet. In 1831, John Kinsey, he was an Indian agent from Fort Dearborn, which is Chicago. He was on his way north to Portage near Madison when he came across the Potawatomi encampment. At the time, the Potawatomi were led by a very powerful chieftain by the name of Bigfoot, who has been immortalized in this area, with his name on the local high school and also on the state park located in Sept today. Then in 1834, the U.S. government sent a surveyor by the name of John Brink. His job was to map this area and note any significant landmarks. When he first laid eyes on this body of water, he said it reminded him of Seneca for less than it cost for a pack of chewing gum today, $1.25. I know some of you thought maybe that was a farmer sold too cheaply, but in reality, he was one of those initial purchasers, and his investment was only $20, so he had a 200% increase in his investment. Shoreline wondering, I wonder if that ever floods. Well, actually it does not flood because the lake level is controlled. Through a series of spillways and gates located down in the city of Lake Geneva, the lake level can be controlled. And in the fall, the really late fall, they will drop the lake level, sometimes as much as a foot depending on the forecast, to accommodate the buildup of ice and snow. Because the same reason that these piers have to come out every fall is the reason the lake level is lowered. The power of the ice and the constant movement would not only destroy these piers, but it will also destroy that low-lying lakefront. Very expensive lakefront, so we try and protect it. Address, if you remember. The second reason is really for safety. If you had a mechanical problem on your boat, ran out of gas, you could call the Water Safety Patrol, say you have broken down Pipe Pier 695 or 696, and they would find you much quicker than if you used the phrase, I've broken town, and all I can see is a big 90 on the side of the old shore boat. European style bed and breakfast has a personal restaurant with tiered seating that allows everyone to have a nice view of the lake. Find that small beach area is 266 acres in the Newport Beach State Park, owned and operated by the state of Wisconsin, one of the few state parks located entirely within the municipality. From Bigfoot Beach State Park all the way to the point of land we are now approaching what was a very large estate called Ceylon Court. Or before it was purchased by S.S. Kresge, the founders of Kmart. But that's not where he found his success. His success was in real estate. When he died in that home in 1906, his fortune was estimated at $25 million. So what Mr. Young did is after the Great Chicago Fire, he went up and down the burned out sections of the city, purchasing all this property for pennies on the dollar. People couldn't sell them quick enough. That's because the smart people said, no, Chicago's not going to rebuild in place. They're going to go north towards Waukegan or south towards Cary. So what Mr. Young purchased very cheaply was about 80% of the Chicago Loop. Turned around and resold it for a great profit. And he thought he'd build the biggest house on these shores at Geneva Lake. The original budget was $150,000. Obviously, that's not a $150,000 house. Exterior walls and Tennessee marble for the interior walls. 7 levels in all, including a rooftop terrace. The main level was used for entertaining. Had a large ballroom with a pink marble fireplace, Tiffany chandelier, hand-laid parquet floors, mortared ceilings that were painted by European artists. He had a hand-carved dining room table that could seat 100 guests. He had a billiard room, a smoking room, a library, vast kitchens. The second and third levels were used for bedrooms and bedroom suites, some as large as 20 by 25. Now the fourth level you can't see because there are no windows, but that contained a full gymnasium and a 9-hole miniature golf course. The rooftop terrace had plants, but they weren't flowers. No, they were mature trees that he had growing out of pots. That compromised parts of the roof, and some changes were made, including the installation of a 14-foot rooftop swimming pool. So if you look all the way to the right, you can kind of see the guardrail up there. The two-level basement had a coal storage room, double boiler system, ice storage room, 3-lane bowling alley, and a jewelry vault. Now, Mr. Young, as I said, passed away in 1906, and his family